Hey, while you're waiting for the show to start, make sure y'all hit the like button, sub to the page if you're here for the first time, drop a comment with your fantasy take or your bold prediction, and let's get these championships. We go over start sit decisions weekly, trade questions, live mock drafts throughout the offseason, and answer a ton of questions throughout the year. So make sure y'all show some love. Even if you disagree with what I got to say, just know we put out the best fantasy content right here on J Hen Fantasy.
What's good? What's good? What's good, y'all? Your boy Justin Henry here. We are heading into week 2. So I'll talk a few waivers tonight. Mostly want to answer questions. There's waiver wire content on J-Hen Fantasy already. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead. I talked about studs and duds and then some pickups as well for this week. So if you guys have questions specifically about waivers, I also did a waiver episode on Bleacher Report today. So feel free to go check that out. I'll answer whatever questions you guys have. There wasn't too much on waivers this week that I thought was just like must pick up, gotta go handle it. Hollywood Brown, obviously, for the next 6 weeks is probably the one pickup that I feel like is going to be out there. 5 weeks, I'll call it. And then we got players like Quentin Johnston. We've talked about Michael Penix already. Harold Fannin and some tight ends in case the George Kittle thing. I have a George Kittle article up as well, but Harold Fannin. And then we've talked about Juwan Johnson here, but there's nobody I would just be like his game changer in my opinion. Harold Fannin if he hits, but David Njoku was still a part of this Cleveland offense. So there is really nobody out there that I think is game-changing in 12-team formats. If Keenan Allen, Michael Penix are out there, feel free to grab them. But overall, this feels like kind of a not lackluster, is not a lot of injuries. There wasn't anybody that just completely stood out, and there wasn't a lot of fantasy points this week, guys. The fantasy points that were there was a lot of it came on Sunday and Monday. We didn't have, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. There wasn't a whole lot there as far as super scores. So I think we see a mega bounce back. And for those who are going to say, hey, Justin, I know the comments are going to come in. What do I do with A.J. Brown? What do I do with Jamar Chase? Tyreek Hill? Do not panic on players right now. It's been 1 week of football, right? And I think you're going to get a lot of people that say, sell Kenneth Walker. Sell Tyreek Hill. Panic on this player. There's a time and place for panic. It's not in week 1. We see this happen all the time. And I want to be very clear about this. Is it 100% that all the stars will bounce back? No, it's not. But is it your place right now to panic on A.J. Brown, who the game script didn't go his way? He'll be fed again at some point. Tyreek Hill, the entire offense looked bad. It wasn't just Tyreek Hill. And Tyreek was still the star of the show. I'm not worried about Tyreek Hill. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, they're like wide receiver 2s. We know they have up and down games. Nico Collins, you're not worried about him. Malik Neighbors, you're not worried about. It's 1 week. If they have this bad week in week 7, none of us will be panicking. So I think where you start to look for concern on players is if it becomes a trend. If we're talking week 4, and we've seen this now for 2-3 straight weeks, now we panic on players. But for now, ease up on your guys, all right? Isaiah Pacheco only have 5 carries. He might come back with 15 next week with 2 touchdowns. There's a lot of players that disappointed this week. So I wouldn't be overly panicking, selling players. This is not the time for that. I just want to be the calm, all right, for y'all, whoever are panicking. And if you can go get some of these players, for players who played well in week 1, this is also a very good trade time. A lot of people will say, oh, Ricky Pearsall, I saw this comment come in, Ricky Pearsall did well. Should I do Ricky Pearsall for A.J. Brown? You bet your ass you should. 1,000% you trade Ricky Pearsall for A.J. Brown. So I'm going to go through the comments. I'm going to open up TikTok here in just a second, but just want to get that out there before the show started. Make sure we're not panicking on players, and waivers are kind of dry this week. Finnegan, what's good? He said, what up, J-Han? J-Han and Goat, how was week 1 for you? Week 1 was actually kind of bad for me. I had a ton of L's. I think I only won 3. I have a bunch of free. I only have 2 money leagues right now. So I don't really even have a whole lot of money leagues. I'm in the process of moving, and I got a lot of other shit going on too. So I'm actually not in as many money leagues as I wanted to this year. I did a lot of underdog, but yeah, week 1 just was not my week. So I don't think I won barely. I won 2 matchups, I want to say. It was bad for me this week. I had a lot of A.J. Brown, a lot of Tyreek Hill. There's a couple other players that just disappointed, and I went up against some good players. So overall, it was not a good week for me fantasy-wise, but Good week for me in general, just in life. Like I said, I'll be moving here pretty soon. So I have Dak in a 12-team, one quarterback start league. Do I pick up Justin Fields? If so, out of 100 fab, how much you spend? In one QB league, I wouldn't overspend on Justin Fields, but you have Dak. Like, I wouldn't panic on Dak either. I know people are panicking on George Pickens. I'm like, it was just a bad game. Like, it was week 1. So just remember that. George Pickens could come out next week with 100 and a touchdown. I don't think it would shock anybody. So just remember that when you're going through this. Dak, he played well. I mean, we're a couple CeeDee Lamb catches away. Maybe even like George Pickens in the red zone. Like, we're a couple plays away from talking about a whole different Dak game. The CeeDee Lamb catches that in stride, we might be talking about a whole different game for Dak. So I think Justin Fields is an incredible player. I've been talking of Justin Fields. He's been in my top 7, 8 quarterbacks pretty much throughout this entire offseason, and that was the reason why. We literally saw why I was excited about Justin Fields. So if you want to pick him up, I wouldn't go overboard. We got a long season ahead, especially with the $100 fab budget, and it's a single QB league. So I don't know who you have as your backup currently, but you already have Dak. I wouldn't go overboard. Maybe 5 to 10%, somewhere in that range of your budget. Appreciate all the new members. Jonah, appreciate you. Alex, appreciate you. EA hates us. What's good, bro? He said Fields, Love, Connor, Achane, Jettas, Hill, Wilson, Ingram, Rome, Mason, Benson, Jaden Higgins, Rice, Shaw White. Any tips on the team bench this week? I think in a situation like this where you're looking at, you're evaluating your team. Do you have a good enough team? Yes. Jettas, Hill, Wilson. You have 3 elite receivers. You have Achane, high upside, running back. And I think your quarterbacks, Fields and Love, are both strong. This is a good team. Evan Ingram got hurt. You have Rome on your bench. You said your bench is kind of weak. Rashee Rice is on your bench. I don't think this is a weak bench at all. So maybe you could use another third running back behind Achane and Connor, but you got Benson to kind of replace Connor. And I also think like maybe that's – and you also have Jordan Mason too. So I don't think this is – I think you're fine in a 12-team league. This team lost because – did this team even lose? Yeah, Love was kind of mid. If you started Love over Fields, which I'm assuming you probably did if you lost and you're asking this, you probably started Love over Fields, which at the time seemed like a good move going up against the Pittsburgh defense. Hill didn't do anything for you. Ingram got hurt. And then I don't know who you started in your flex. So if you even have a flex. So I think you're fine. You might have just gone up against a good team. Like Jettas had a touchdown, but not a whole lot of yards. So I don't think this is the end of the world for you. I think you're fine. You might even bench Garrett Wilson because of the matchup. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fill-out period. Week 1, week 2, I would say even up to week 3, it's like a fill-out period. It's what do I have in my lineup? Who's good? What are the roles? A lot of things change during the offseason. Defenses changes. Offensive line changes. Offensive coordinator changes, right? Head coaching changes. There's a lot. Personnel moves. So it's kind of a fill-out period. Like, players are a year older. Players are another year experienced. We have rookies in the fold. I think this team to me looks solid. And chat, tell me if I'm wrong, but this team to me looks solid. Team to me looks solid. All right, let me fire up YouTube as well, or TikTok as well. Fire up TikTok too. Make sure I'm on there. How are you guys doing, man? Everybody mentally good? You know what I'm saying? Week 1, anybody ready to quit fantasy already, bro? It's funny because we have all the offseason stuff, and then we have week 1. And it happens. And it's like, what do you do in week 1? Do you say, okay, like I know things are going to happen? Do you start to get concerned? I think for me, the one sticking point I have when it comes to week 1 is I say, okay, we saw the start of it. Because week 2, it could continue and then things change. I've seen players have slow starts to week 1 and week 2 and then just be fine the rest of the season. Especially elite players. A lot of times elite players will figure things out. So don't overly panic. Don't overly panic. Don't overly panic would be my suggestion. Do not overly panic. This is better. This is way better. All right, let me go through a few of these before I open up TikTok real quick. What up, Jay? Team is any concerns, future concerns about team? It's week 1. If you drafted your team and you like it, I'm not going to give you a whole lot of like any concerns. To me, this team is fine. Nico, AJ Brown, you have 2 elite receivers. Chase Brown, Kamara, Ibuka, Pearsall. This is good, bro. No complaints here. kind of thinking about testing the market on Ibuka. Listen, if you could trade somebody at their highest, do it. Like Ibuka, you could probably get high-end wide receiver 2 numbers for him. He might stay there all year. He might outplay it, but this is a good time to also cash out on people who do buy in to week 1, right? Like who are overly impressed with week 1 numbers. Ibuka could end up being a top 12 receiver. He could. Do I think that's going to happen? No, not when you have Mike Evans on the team, not when Chris Godwin's going to be back, not when Kate Otton's going to be fully healthy, not when Jalen McMillan will be back at some point. Ibuka caught 2 touchdowns. He had 6 targets. It's not like he had 15 targets. So for me, I would test the market on Ibuka. That's a player I would do that with, right? And so I think when you can cash out at ceiling value, which Ibuka right now, he was hyped all offseason and then met the hype week 1. Yes, I think this is a good time. Ibuka for A.J. Brown, you might be able to get another piece. Ibuka for Ibuka for Tyreek Hill and another piece. Like you could probably do that right now. You know, Ibuka might be able to get you Nico Collins for just a little bit more. Ibuka and a small piece for Nico Collins. Like there's going to be people out there who are pissed off with their first and second round picks who didn't do well week 1, especially in your home leagues. Make sure you guys take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? Drop Fields for Lawrence in all my leagues. Damn. I have Love as a backup, 2 out of 3 leagues. I don't think I can get Fields back in my cook. Nah, I don't think you're cooked, but that's why, you know, for week 1 matchups, like it was just a bad matchup for Fields, and you probably got lost in the sauce thinking Trevor Lawrence is going to do good. I think Trevor Lawrence is a great play. He was a great play last week. I think he'll be a great play moving forward. Obviously not the game you wanted to see, but like this is why when you draft a player, and I try to say this as much as possible, like trust who you drafted. You know what I'm saying? You don't be making a whole lot of changes to your team if you feel good coming out of your draft. But we're not at that point right now. We're in week 2. So for now, don't worry about it. If you don't have them right now, try to get them back, and it's not the end of the world. You have 2 good quarterbacks in Lawrence and Love. Did not expect the performance from Fields. Yeah. Lawrence T-Law did not play well. I mean, he could have played better. The team could have played better. Brian Thomas, I feel like overall that game was ugly. The weather became a part of it, so don't worry about it. Hope your weekend was good. Weekend was great, man. Got a chance to, like I said, I was in the lab watching football all weekend, so football's back. I got no complaints. Trade away JCM for A.J. Brown wasn't worth it. Case in point, right here. Case in point. Ship his ass off. JCM for A.J. Brown? You do this? You never turn down this trade. I don't care if A.J. Brown never played another snap the rest of the year. These are the kind of deals that you make. When everybody's so hyped and it worked out, like JCM, he's got next in Washington offense. When have we even seen a Washington running back be like, when's the last time we seen a Washington running back even be top 10? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to really think about it. Even last year, Brian Robinson was like an RB2. What did Merritt do? I mean, he had a long run and he had a touchdown. Like, yes, you go get A.J. Brown every single time. Should I trade ETN and Jalen Warren for JT? Yes. ETN, another player who I think ETN is going to be more RB2 than we thought. Like, I don't know. I was kind of thinking that, but I think now that we know Tank Bigsby's gone, he's going to be high-end RB2 rest of the way. It's just with Jalen Warren, you trade 2 RB2s to go get a solid RB1. And he'll be your third back. You got Kamara, Jacobs. You absolutely do this deal to go get JT, and then you go find the next ETN and Jalen Warren on waivers. You absolutely lock in elite talent. If people are panicking on elite talent in your leagues, what I'm going to tell you right now is you absolutely go get those players. You go get a Jonathan Taylor if they're worried about his injury and the reason he didn't play. You go get an A.J. Brown. You start to accumulate elite players with players that you got in the middle of your drafts. Your team will look fucking scary come week 12 and week 13. I do it all the time. People wonder how my teams look the way they do. Like, if you've ever been in a league with me, and y'all can justify if you've been in a league with me, by the time the season ends, you guys look at my team, you're like, how the hell did Justin get all those players? Every single time you will say that. I guarantee if you've been in a league with me, you're going to be like, how did Justin get all those players? And most of the time it's by doing deals just like this that most people are scared to do. ETN played so well. Damn, I think Jalen Warren's going to be, they gave him the contract. JT, I don't know. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. What happened? Those are the kind of deals that win you leagues, or at least keep you competitive, I would say, to winning a championship almost all the time. Jaylen Warren for Ridley. Both of these deals should be done. You should have Jonathan Taylor and Ridley on your team for Jaylen Warren, ETN. Like, I don't. Oh, you're saying because you can only do one. Get JT first. If you can't get JT, then get Ridley. Either one of these deals is a great deal for you. Buy low on elite talent. If it doesn't work out for Ridley, it's okay. You only gave up Jaylen Warren. What's Jaylen Warren? His ceiling is a top 15 running back. It's not like this is crazy potential with him. It's good, Jay. I hope you had a good weekend. Appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man, and asking about me, man. It means a lot. So thank you. Thank you. But yeah, great right now. I'm in a good mood, man. Would you trade Marv for AJB or London or both? What? Would I trade Marv for AJB or London or both? Like, you mean you can get both AJ Brown and London for Marv? If that is the case, you leave the live and you go get AJ Brown and London. If Marv for AJ Brown's available, I think you get AJ Brown. If Marv for London's available, you go get London. And you know how much I love Marv. Even if Marv finishes top 5 and he has this incredible year, AJ Brown is capable of the same thing. Drake London is we saw the volume with Drake London. He is capable of the same thing. If you can ever do a deal like this where you solidify first or second round talent with third and fourth round talent, depending on when you took Marv, you do it. It's been 1 week of a 17-week season. We're playing for 15, 16, 17, not for how we feel after week 1. So yes, I would, if you could get both, insane, bro. Insane. One on Rome TD, good job. But this is a 3 receiver, 3 flex league. Good job, yeah. Okay, so you won. So you good, bro. Like, I think as far as you like winning, like, it doesn't matter how you won, you got the dub. A dub is a dub. Listen, if y'all got more trades like that too, where people are sending you deals for elite players, put them in the chat. I'm about to go through them. Trade Golden and Mason, for Addison. Golden and Mason for Addison. Why? I don't think you need to do that. McCarthy looked good, but I don't think you need to do that. You get Addison week 4. I don't think that's enough of an upgrade. I think Golden and Addison will probably be similar. Golden had a bad game, but I think they'll be similar. Soon enough. And then I'll get back to the member comments in a second. Thoughts on these 3 receivers rest of the season? Evans, Tyreek, and JSN. All right, quick hitters on 3 receivers. So number 1, Mike Evans was outshined a little bit by Emeka Egbuka, but I'm not really worried about that. And the reason I'm not worried about that is because Mike he had a tough matchup against Atlanta. Everybody says he does well against Atlanta fantasy-wise, but what they fail to realize is a lot of times that involved the touchdowns. That involved also having another receiver, complementary receiver, Chris Godwin, somebody else available. So I'm not overly concerned at all about Mike. I still think Mike has elite upside the rest of the way. And I still think he's a top 15 play. Would I rather have Mike or Egbuka? I'm still taking Mike. I think Egbuka just scored the touchdown. Like, if we had Mike with 2 touchdowns instead, we'd be having a whole different conversation about Egbuka right now. So Mike was getting the looks, overly confident in Mike. Mike is never a player that I'm really worried about. Mike, rest of the season, is going to be Mike. Tyreek Hill. The concern is Tua. Is he okay? Because he had a few turnovers that looked uncharacteristic. He looked a little flustered at times. Obviously, going against this Colts defense, which has made some improvements, but by all accounts, is really not like a top 10-ish type defense. At least we haven't seen it as of yet. So Tyreek, to me, is still in play. The bonus part about Tyreek is that there have been trade rumors. So even if things don't work out in Miami and he gets frustrated and Tua doesn't look the part, the rumors with Tyreek right now are in really good landing spots. It's in KC with Patrick Mahomes. And then we saw Aaron Rodgers. Everybody thought he's washed. He's not washed. We saw Aaron Rodgers get the ball to DK, Calvin Austin, Ben Skoranek, Jonnu. Like, he's still got an arm. So I think no matter what, if he went to the Steelers, he went to the Chiefs, he stayed with the Dolphins. I'm not really worried about Tyreek. I still think he's at least top 12-ish value the rest of the way. He didn't show me a decline in like the ability to catch the football. Still looks fast as hell. I'm not really worried about Tyreek at all. And then JSN, the one thing I think a lot of people are excited about it because he took so much of the targets from Sam Darnold. I think that gets skewed a little bit more evenly. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe this coaching staff really just wants to force feed JSN like 35% of the targets, which would be insane. But I think JSN just had a really good game. The questions for me still remain. Is that kind of volume going to remain there? And can he get to 10 touchdowns? Because if he doesn't get to 10 touchdowns, I would want to see that kind of volume on a weekly basis. Like, Darnold's going to have to pass for more yardage. Darnold would pass for what, 150? So I know JSN had a lot of that. I would think they would want to balance things out. Now, I think JSN's probably more still wide receiver 2. Even though he has a strong week, he's still more wide receiver 2 than wide receiver 1. Let's see. Let me go through these, man. Go through them quickly. I was supposed to be live on TikTok already. Actually, I'm going to catch up and then I'll go live on TikTok. That way I'm all caught up. Where did we leave off at? Right here. What up, J-Han? I have Love, H-Han, Cook, Monty, Warren, BTJ. Thoughts on trades, what you'd be doing? BTJ, Tyreek, Terry. I'd be holding, bro. Only thing you can really – you got running backs, bro. I'd be holding. Maybe trying to upgrade your running back 3. Like, if you could find a good deal, if you could pair up, like, Matthew Golden, who didn't have much value. I would keep Odunze, Terry Hill, and BTJ, especially if you could play one of the flex. I don't think you have a lot to do. Like, not everything requires a trade right now. So if you can somehow get a better RB3, like test the waters maybe for some disappointing running backs, I think I'd be cool with that. Like, if you could find a way to get, like, maybe Pacheco as a backup, Tony Pollard as a backup. Trying to go a little higher up there to think, too. Think of, like, struggling running back that's, like, a top 20-ish running back, and I think you could probably do better than Monty and Warren right now. That's where I'd make a move. Other than that, I think you're solid. Maybe tight end upgrade, but it's not necessary. Took Fields and best ball redraft startup. Let's go. I've been telling you, like, and I don't want to be like, I told you so right now. It's been 1 week, but like Fields looked the part. I really was excited when I saw Fields. The one that did it for me was when he stood in the pocket and then he kind of threw that touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson. I was like, oh shit. Not only is this team running the football, Justin Fields looks poised. As a passer, looked poised. There was all the offseason stuff about how inaccurate he was and couldn't get the ball to Garrett Wilson and was struggling in camp. I didn't see any of that on Sunday. Justin Fields, especially, I mean, he's going to use his legs. We know he's going to run some touchdowns in. We talked about it here on the page, bro. So, yes, cash money on Justin Fields. Subject ETN season. We talked about ETN. And it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be – this is definitely not meant to be a toot my horn session, but we did really – this offseason was good. Like, I think we priced people – maybe – obviously not everything hits, but I think we priced players really well here. What do y'all think? Maybe it didn't equate to wins early on, like for some of you guys. I know not everybody won their week, but like I kind of feel like we priced players appropriately. What do y'all think? ETN, just for the record, for me, Travis Etienne, obviously without Tank Bigsby in the fold. I think I talked about this at the top of the show, but for me, is going to be a player that's high-end RB2, weekly upside. Curious to see how they deploy LaQuint Allen and then also Bashal Tootin. I figure both of those guys probably will get mixed in somehow, but LaQuint Allen had more – it looked like he had more involvement, which was kind of surprising than even Tank Bigsby over the weekend. So that should have been a telltale sign. But for me, I am just the only running back I really want in this is ETN. Curious to see what it looks like for the backup. So they're both backups for a reason. Maybe you want to grab one of them. LaQuint Allen's going to be the easiest to grab. Bashal Tootin's probably already on teams. Trade away Josh Allen, Coleman, Diggs for Penix and Jett as a dub. Diggs, Coleman. Yeah, this is good. This is good. You went Jettas, Diggs, and Josh Allen, Penix, Coleman. Yeah, this is a dub. Getting Jettas, I think that's good. Accepted a trade, J-Han, K9 Neighbors. Oh, okay. K9 Neighbors. Yeah, I got asked about this. K9 Neighbors for Harrison ETN. I think it's kind of a wash. I said this. I was hopefully it came across this way. I don't think this is a trade like some of these trades. I don't like trades like this because it's kind of like which receiver do I think is going to be better or which running back do I think is going to be better? That's what it is. You think, are you winning? You got to take players you want. I think at face value, market value, Kenneth Walker is priced a little bit better than ETN, like he's worth more. Neighbors is going to be worth more than Harrison. So I think the value side of that is Neighbors and K9. I would just take a market value in case something happens next week and Harrison only, doesn't catch a touchdown and Neighbors goes off for 2 touchdowns. They figured things out in New York. So I'm not mad at the deal. I just don't think there's really a winner here. I think this is one of those things where, like, who just has better value at the end of the day. Like, I don't think there's a clear winner in value here. Market value-wise, I do, but I think it's kind of a wash deal, which is crazy, kind of say. I think draft spot-wise you win, though. Diego, he said the GOAT. What's good, J-Han? Diego, you the GOAT, man. What's good with you? Diego. That should be a nickname, Diego, bro. Worthy and London thoughts. So Worthy, obviously, we got to see what it looks like for him. Xavier Worthy, I got a feeling he's going to go IR. The talk with Xavier Worthy is it IR or is it the season? So that's the only concern there. If he can get back on the field, there's talk that he's going to wear a brace. You guys have seen those braces. One of the braces for his shoulder. Hopefully he's able to get on the field. I don't think he wants a lost year off of running into his teammate, but it all depends on what the doctors say, obviously. So he dislocated it. They're trying to see the severity of it. Hopefully he can play. If not, I would have a lot of concerns. Should he be out? So even if he plays, I think there might be a slight downgrade. And then Drake London dealing with the shoulder as well. He said he was day-to-day, so I'm not overly concerned about Drake London right now until we see something more. But he said he was day-to-day. Hopefully he plays. Maybe it affects him for the next game or two. But I still think Drake London saw a ton of volume. He will continue. Substack is fire. Been loving it. El Gran Santo, thank you for the update. I've been trying to put out content. I'm only one man, but I've been trying to put out enough content for you guys to get value out of it. So like I said, if there's ever something that you guys need that I'm just not doing, let me know. But this kind of feedback is very helpful for me when I go sit down and I film for 2 hours and I talk about the games and I got to go write articles for an entire day. It's helpful for me to know, like, it's worth the time at the expense of some other things. So I don't know what's like. Sometimes I'm kind of in a feel out period too, like content wise for me, because I'm so used to being live. That was my platform for a lot, but it's tough for me to always be live and answer questions because it doesn't always make for fluid content. Some people don't like that, It's easy for me to answer questions, but then I got to go back and edit and I got to go make, I got to go make an article. So it's tough for me sometimes. So I want to kind of keep these lives a little bit more like answer your questions. We get information. You guys can use the information from the Substack, from the game-by-game analysis, from the waiver episode. Like, I just want to give you guys tools so I always got to be live to answer your questions. I love answering them. Don't get me wrong, but like, I know I can't always make myself available. So, Jayan, what's up, Paul? Hope all is well. Jorge, appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you, my man. Jayan, always a week early before everyone else. Good call on Jawan Johnson. I say a lot of stuff, and I don't always post it like as clips. So I don't think I ever will truly get the love I deserve. But like, I talked about Jawan Johnson in the offseason and even on just the recent episode, the Saints episode, how I thought he was kind of a sneaky tight end too. But appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, for calling me out. And if I had some bad calls too, let me know on the bad calls too. I know I had a few bad calls. AJ Brown, I know was probably a bad one. I know I had some bad calls too, but we had some. I would say overall, like the advice, like I can tell sometimes when I miss on the advice. Like throughout the season, I have bad weeks. I'm not saying by no means. I know I have shitty weeks. What I'm saying is, I think this offseason, even better than last year. I feel like last year I had a few more misses that even right now where I was kind of like, shit, I might miss. I feel like this offseason was really good. And even like week 1, I feel like we pretty much dialed in a lot of it. Like, you guys can tell me what you think if I was just off on a lot of shit. But happy Tuesday, everyone. Danny, appreciate you. Keon Coleman, another one. Another one. Yeah, Keon Coleman, man, looked the part. Looks like he's going to be a wide receiver 1 for this team. Obviously, Khalil Shakir is still banged up too. I think that had a little bit of an effect. And like we saw a lot of Keon Coleman in the second half. He got the tip touchdown, which made it look even better. But like, yeah, I mean, Keon Coleman, he looks the part, bro. And if this is the offense they're going to be playing, like Keon Coleman's going to be a big part of it. So I'm excited about him, man. He was all over the field too. Like, I'm happy. I'm really happy with like I said, I'm happy with the calls, but shit, it feels like you guys are winning your leagues. That's what I really care about. Trade Marv for AJ Brown, yes. I'd rather have AJ Brown than Marv still. And I love Marv, but I'd rather have AJ Brown. All right. A couple supers came in. Let me get to them. Omarion Hampton, a must start. I think he's an RB2. And if you have somebody that's better than him, start him. Put it this way. If I had Travis Etienne right now, I'd start Travis Etienne over Hampton. If I have Kamara, I'm starting Kamara over Hampton. If I have Kenneth Walker, I might start Hampton over Kenneth Walker. That's where I'm starting to debate it. He's in that like Pacheco territory to me. DeAndre Swift, he's in that category to me. Tony Pollard, I'm probably starting Pollard over him, but he's in that category to me. He's not in the top 12 category where you drafted him. Just put it that way. Are you playing Amari and Hampton or Breece Hall? You know what I'm saying? It's a very clear answer. You playing Amari and Hampton or James Cook? And that's where he was being drafted. So I think it just unfortunately, he was just drafted too high. That was my biggest point all offseason. And the one thing we haven't seen yet is I know Najee only had one catch, but Najee's going to get more involved. Is this really a true running offense, or is it the passing offense that we saw on Friday night? We have to figure that part out. So I think right now he is must start as an RB2. If you drafted him to be your RB1 or RB2, keep him in your lineup. If you have two viable options, you don't need to start him. I think right now, he's going to be like one of those touchdown or bust type plays. Think younger, more explosive. I don't want to make this like a comparison one-off. Fantasy production-wise, I think you can kind of think of Amari Hampton as like Brian Robinson. Is that fair to say, or am I being too hard? I think you can kind of think of him as like a more explosive Brian Robinson. Probably has big game potential we haven't seen yet, but it kind of feels like this team's going to give him the rock 12 to 18 times a game. He's going to need a touchdown to really be a threat unless we see something change with the receiving work, which we ain't see. Everybody was saying the receiving work was the reason why I was wrong. We ain't really see the receiving work. What are your thoughts on Mark Andrews? Is it worth adding likely now? I have Pitts in my backup. The tight end run in my draft was crazy. I think Pitts is a viable start on a week-to-week basis. I'll probably drop a few videos on certain players here very soon. But I think Pitts is going to be a start on a week-to-week basis, especially if Drake London is banged up. Darnell Mooney stays out. It just looks like he's a part of the offense. Second half, Michael Penix was looking his way a lot. So I think they get Pitts more involved. It's a contract year for him. And then adding likely, I don't know that you need to do that. Just keep Mark Andrews. I think the offense, there's just so many pieces. You got Derrick Henry, who was running the rock really well. Zay Flowers played really well. We even had DeAndre Hopkins catch a touchdown. There's a lot in this offense. We know Lamar's going to use his legs at times. You just know Mark Andrews is going to have some down games. That's why you got him at the back end of the tight end ones for games like this. I'm sure he'll get more involved, just like it was last year. At this point last year, about 3-4 weeks from now last year, we were like, do we drop Mark Andrews? And he ended up being a drop in some leagues. So I would say, don't overly panic on Mark right now. Give it a little bit of time. You got Pitts. If you're at that point, just start Pitts. I just don't think adding likely is going to help your case at all. It's just going to make things more confusing for you. If you really want to add likely, it's if you have somebody to drop, do it. But I don't think you add likely to drop Mark Andrews. I don't think that's the case. Would you rather have T or Marv? I'd rather have Marv. I think T has better upside. Me personally, I like Marv. I think Marv's going to be really consistent this year. Probably have a really good year. Elite year. I think T will too, though. I just think he's a little bit less risky. I think Marv is less week-to-week risky than T. Thoughts on Amari Hampton? I kind of just talked about it. I'll dive in, I guess, a little bit more. When I explain things sometimes, I hope I'm not coming off the wrong way, but it's I kind of expected this. I talked about Hampton being more RB2-ish than where he was going. I kind of expected this. And I think a lot of people were excited about the workload. They said 18 carries. That means good things for Hampton. I do think that means good things for Hampton, but it's also kind of an excuse because we haven't seen fully Najee yet. Najee was just getting integrated into the offense. We also don't know, we saw the carries, but he didn't do 100 yards. It wasn't like he ran for 150. He was just carving it up. And I know Chiefs defense is tough, but it's not like he was really it looked the part of good RB2 play, but it wasn't nothing special to me yet. I know he'll get there and the game will slow down for him, but he's a rookie. He's a rookie. I think everybody expects, rookies to come in and look the part. Maybe at some point he figures it out. I think for right now, he's an RB2, which is an inconsistent player. He's a guy that'll get you 8 points one week, 15 another. 9 points, 12 points, and then, oh shit, he has a 25-point game, and then 12 points and 15 and 7, and oh shit, here's another 30-point game. Like, that's just who Hampton is probably going to be until we see a little bit more from him. Trade Keon Coleman and Pittman for J-Mo? No, I think that's kind of going backwards. Coleman's probably like a wide receiver 3. Pittman is just better than you think. That's not the elite talent. J-Mo didn't have that. J-Mo was a wide receiver 2. When I say elite talent, I'm talking like top 12 talent. You say Keon Coleman and Pittman for A.J. Brown, that's the kind of deal I'm hunting right now. Not for J-Mo. J-Mo could be Pittman. J-Mo could be Keon Coleman. You know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't seen J-Mo hit the 1,400, 1,500 yards yet, which would be a difference maker from trading away 2 guys that are probably around 1,000. J-Mo himself can be a 1,000-yard guy. We could be forward-thinking the jump. So, no, I wouldn't be doing Coleman and Pittman for J-Mo. I would keep both of those guys. I know it makes one less decision for you, and J-Mo probably going to pop off at some point, but that's not the kind of deal I would trade those 2 to move higher than J-Mo. All right, Jahan, I'm going to try to go through a little quicker on these so I can get to the bottom. Jahan, I'm in a 12-man CD BTJ. Should I package a deal with AK and Devontae Smith for Jake? No, Devontae Smith's another player. Just like, if you're so worried about Devontae Smith, just wait. Wait, he'll have a better day. It's coming. George Pickens will be better. Devontae Smith will be better. Like, I don't think and Alvin's good. Alvin ain't that far off of JT. Alvin ain't that far off of Josh Jacobs. He's not Devontae Smith wide receiver 2 level off. I get you have a lot of receivers, but just because you have depth doesn't mean it needs to go for free to somebody else. Like, the difference between Jonathan Taylor and Kamara to me isn't Devontae Smith. That's heavy. And it's not Josh Jacobs either. So I don't like that deal. I think Devontae Smith's better than what he played last week. Got offered Bucky Irving for Ricky Pearsall, Garrett Wilson. Would you do it? Bucky for Ricky and Garrett Wilson? You give up. It depends on what my team looks like. I like getting Garrett Wilson in this deal because him and Bucky are pretty similar value to me. And then you get Ricky Pearsall on top of that. If Kittle's out, well, Kittle is out. But if he's out for an even more extended period of time, or like Juwan Jennings is out, I think he's okay too. But if Juwan Jennings is out for like Ricky Pearsall is up. So I think getting both of these receivers, if you have the running backs to back it up, good move. Who should I pick up for Ingram? Drop Blue, Benson, Burton. A tight end. You're asking me what tight end should you pick up? You could drop Blue. I would drop Blue. Luther Burden could go. I would keep the quarterbacks. Unless you just really needed to drop one. I'd want to keep all the quarterbacks. Flip one. Get active with the trades. Trade a quarterback for a tight end. Find whoever drafted Bo Nix. Talk about another one. Go to whoever drafted Bo Nix. Trade him Drake May. And get a tight end. Whoever their tight end is. Throw them Ingram and May for a tight end. If shit, more. Get a little bit more if you can. Always ask for more. Jahan, you won your matchup in the free 12-man because of that DJ Moore fumble on the last play. Really? Oh, my gosh, bro. It would have been a bad. Thank you for giving me a win, bro. Thank you for giving me a win. I needed a win yesterday in the worst way. Trade Fields for Burrow to stack with Jamar. Yeah, I'm cool. Go get Burrow. You don't need the stack, though. If it's just for the stack, I'm just doing it because of pure talent. I think Fields ain't that far off of Burrow. He not, man. He did that against Pittsburgh. Imagine when they have a lighter defense. He did that against Pittsburgh. I had Justin Fields as my QB7, not because that was his ceiling, but like I was kind of playing the middle of like, if Justin Fields hits, we're talking about a top 3 to 4 quarterback. Like he's in the Lamar, Jaden Daniels, Josh. He's up there if he hits. I think at floor, he was like a top 10 guy. So when I rank somebody, I don't rank them at their ceiling. I would try not to. I try not to. Sometimes I do because bias. I try not to rank them at their ceiling. But I thought Fields had a lot more room. I don't know that this is, like, for me, value-wise, week 2, I'm saying, yes, you do this deal. You cash out. You get the floor. I just think Fields might have been misappropriately priced. Like, you might have just got good value on him. And I don't think you need the stack. I think the stack's a luxury, but you saw what the stack did this week. It didn't do shit. You would have lost your league your week. If you had the Burrow Jamar stack, you probably lost. That's why I talk about the floor sometimes with stacks. I talk about the floors. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I say quarterback receiver leaves you a little bit more vulnerable, because if it's a bad passing day, your team suffers. I would say yes to this deal, but just know this has backfire potential. And if you're going to do Fields for Burrow, damn. I mean, yeah, I would do it. But that's also like the cash. That's me playing, I like Fields a lot, bro. I would do the deal still, though. I would get Burrow. It's a 2-start receiver league. Sorry, I lost it. I don't know where. Oh. Yeah, I don't know which one, Jorge, you were talking about. Sorry, bro. But yeah, hopefully I answered your question already. Just thought I'd say I liked the game breakdowns you posted throughout the week. Good information, all of them. Helped me make a lot of start. Okay, good. Go. Good. So I will continue to post them in that format unless it just becomes overwhelmingly no. The feedback I've received on them is good. It takes me a lot of work. So hopefully you guys understand like the content dip a little bit. It's kind of hurting me channel wise, like putting out content. And I don't know the best way to go about it. I mean, I don't like just doing like little content because I feel like sometimes I don't get to say enough and it becomes more take shit than like me actually helping you guys win your league. So I think I suffer a little bit of that, like channel wise. I probably don't go like view wise, I go down, but if it helps you guys win, that's my goal. So if this is good information, let's keep it running. Send ETN to get Henderson and full point PPR. What do y'all think about TreVeyon Henderson? I think at some point Henderson's probably going to be ETN-ish type value, but like if you drafted Henderson, you wanted what you saw at ETN. 15 to 20 carries. He's going to get involved in the passing game. I think I'd rather have ETN at this point. Would you? Chad, am I wrong? Am I wrong about ETN? Who would y'all rather have, ETN or Henderson? This is what I mean, like the offseason stuff. If it doesn't work out week one, you're questioning all your decisions. If you took TreVeyon Henderson in the 3rd round, now you're like, should I trade him for ETN? This is the only reason why, man. It's like, I know a lot of people get mad at me because I go old player or like I don't go buy into all the rookies. But like, this is why. Because unless it's Emeka Egbuka, who now has skyrocketed even more, unless it's Emeka Egbuka, you get stuck with Amarian Hampton asking yourself, should I start him? You get stuck with TreVeyon Henderson as your RB1 or your RB2, and you're asking if you should start him. This is my whole point. So now a guy like Matt, a savvy owner, is going to say, hey, I got ETN, a running back who's good, who I got in the fucking 7th, 8th round. Give me Henderson. And the Henderson person sitting there 0-1 like, I don't know, this is a good deal. Like, you have to think about it. And value-wise, you kind of know in your head, I'd rather just have ETN. So a lot of people will get upset with me. They say, you're wrong on this. They tell me I'm wrong before a game has been played. They say my take is trash before a game has been played. When in reality, it's not a take. It's literally the thought process of, hey, just slow down a little bit. It's not even really a take. It's, hey, I think you're just drafting the player too early. So this kind of deal, I don't know. I kind of think I would just stick with ETN. You might be able to recoup a little bit more, like if you're an active trader, like, and you want to trade TreVeyon Henderson later if he gets a bigger role. But literally, what would you expect from TreVeyon Henderson that ETN isn't giving you right now? ETN has already been a top 3 running back. ETN showed off. I mean, he had a 70-yard run. He's got the home run hitting ability. He's in a good offense with Liam Cohen. He doesn't have a backup. What would you really be getting out of TreVeyon Henderson? You'd be trading for a backup running back. At least right now. That's at best case scenario right now, it's a 50-50 split. I think you get more upside with TreVeyon Henderson, and there's nothing saying I'm 100% right in these, but I would rather have ETN. Chat, y'all agree with them? You agree? Henderson or ETN? Who would you guys rather have? Y'all flirting in the comments? Thoughts on Tracy trying to get rid of him? I thought Tyrone Tracy would play a lot better. I was wrong about that. And the thing is, Cam Scatterbo didn't really – he had some powerful runs. But I don't know. I'm not really – I think you kind of got him at a good spot, RB3-ish, RB4-ish maybe, where if you want to get rid of him, you're just not going to get much back from him. I would rather wait for a good game or almost just wait for him to get, benched. I think you could wait it on Tracy, and if it happens, it happens. They're going to need him, though, because Scatterbo, I don't think he can handle – I don't think he's versatile enough to do, 15 to 18 touches. I think at best right now he would need, a split. So I think just wait on it with Tracy. I would give him another week. I wouldn't overly panic. Monty Golden, Warren Golden for K9. Monty Golden. Yeah, so even for Kenneth Walker, I would say Golden for Pollard is probably where I'm at, especially, until Tajay Spears gets back. Pacheco even. I think Golden for Pacheco is still kind of even value right now. If you're looking for a slight running back upgrade, I don't mind doing Golden and Warren or Golden and Monty for K9. That's just still with Kenneth Walker, I do have some concerns. With Kenneth Walker, I just have some concerns of is it really a timeshare? I think he could bounce back. I think I would do. I think the player Golden. I kind of think Golden has more upside, so maybe that's why I'm hesitant. But this is the type of deal I would do to go get K9, and it's you consolidate. We call it consolidating, with your team. So instead of having a whole bunch of questionable pieces, do I start Monty? Do I start Warren? Do I start Golden? You pretty much know you're going to start Kenneth Walker. So just make sure when you trade for him, you're going to start him. And then you can pick up another player that has Jalen Warren potential. You can pick up another player that has Matthew Golden potential. You can go pick up Cedric Tillman. You can pick up Dylan Sampson. You can pick up players that kind of have that potential, maybe not 1-to-1, but in a similar vacuum, and you've upgraded your starting roster spot. And then you also have, if K9 hits and you're concerned about him, you also have a better trade piece. If Jalen Warren hits, you're not going to be able to move Jalen Warren ever, at least not this season, for Kenneth Walker price if he hits. If Matthew Golden hits, that's the one thing. Matthew Golden hits, we might be talking about a wide receiver 3. That's my only concern with Golden being the piece, because he does have upside and he has name value, and he's a rookie. Rookies, when they hit, their value, you guys see it with the Buka right now, rookies, when they hit, their value exponentially grows. Ingram, Kincaid, leaning towards dropping Kincaid. Why would you drop Kincaid? Kincaid just had a good game. For Juwan, Goddard, Fannin ranked the 3. Why would you drop Kincaid? Didn't Kincaid? I thought Kincaid had a solid day. Ingram's hurt. I think Ingram might even go. There's talks that he might go IR. I'll have the update on Evan Ingram tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure there was talks that he could be out for a minute. So I definitely, let me make sure. I thought, am I tripping? Didn't Kincaid have a solid day? Am I tripping right now? What were his final numbers from the game? Yeah, bro. Yeah, he had 4 for 48. Yeah. Why would you drop Kincaid? I was like, bro, I know he caught the TD. I was like, did he not have as many catches as I remember? I was like, bro, was he? He was doing work. Yeah, I would definitely not drop Kincaid, bro. So, but as far as if you could pick someone up, if you can put Evan Ingram, I don't know what happens tomorrow, or it's definitely not going to happen tonight. If you have somebody else you can drop, I think how I would rank these guys: Juwan Johnson, Dallas Goedert, Harold Fannin. I think Juwan Johnson is probably going to be the surprise piece early on. I think he has a lot of value. I think Dallas Goedert's the most consistent option. I think I would rather have Dallas Goedert. I think Juwan Johnson just has more upside to be better than Goddard on a week-to-week basis. Spencer Rattler is at quarterback. He's throwing for volume, whereas the Eagles' offense doesn't really need Goddard. I think Goddard is safer. So Juwan Johnson, I think, has upside. He didn't even catch a touchdown last week or over the weekend, and I still think he has even more ceiling than that. And then as far as Harold Fannin, I think he had 9 targets over the weekend. Joe Flacco was getting the rock. He looks the part of being a consistent player, but we also didn't see David Njoku. So it's if you get Fannin, maybe he takes over the starting role, or maybe they trade David Njoku. But you kind of are hoping for that because I don't know that we see that consistently. I think that might have been a matchup thing. So I got to watch a little bit more of the tape. I watched the game, but like I got to watch a little bit of tape to see what they were doing scheme-wise to take away David Njoku. So I'll probably have a better answer for you on that towards the weekend. But for now, I think that Fannin is going to be more of like he's in a two tight end role. Like there's two tight ends there. I don't want him. Maybe he has the upside. I'm just not really – I ain't chasing that. Start Juwan Johnson over Andrews. Starts and sits coming this week. Mark Andrews being used as a lineman. Mixon and Coleman or Waddle for Tay. I probably would do that. It's just Tay – I don't know. That offense, obviously they're going through Puka for a lot of their yardage stuff, which is fine volume-wise. Tay was getting open too. They just didn't connect as much as I thought they would. So, I don't know. Waddle and Tay are probably closer in value right now to me. If you could do Waddle straight for Devontae Adams, I would do it. If you're saying Mixon and Coleman or Mixon and Waddle, I kind of like holding Keon Coleman, but I would rather have Devontae. I'd rather have Devontae. I'm just going to put it to you straight. Coleman and Mixon can go for Devontae. Waddle and Mixon can go for Devontae. I just have my concerns that it's not Mixon away, but Mixon, who knows if he comes back. That's my concern here. And my concern is that Keon Coleman could be dead ass just like Devontae Adams. Waddle could bounce back. It's an overpay for Devontae Adams at this point. That's not typically a consolidation I'd want to make. Coleman, if I didn't believe in Coleman and Mixon would be the consolidation I'd make for Devontae Adams. That's typically what I would do. I just believe in Coleman a lot. I've talked about all offseason. So that's a hard deal for me to do. I probably would try to find another. If I'm being dead ass, I'd probably try to find another player. I like Waddle. I like Coleman. I probably would try to find another player. But Diego, if you pull the trigger, I wouldn't be mad at you. Send that for A.J. Brown. Do that too. Send that for A.J. Brown. Thoughts on Pacheco? I think he'll bounce back. Only 5 carries. He'll bounce back. You feel it's a breakout year for Marv? Absolutely. I've talked about this all offseason. I think Marv is in for a top 12 year. I was drafting him as a top 12 receiver, and I think he has more upside. So, absolutely. Bro, I lost you in a league where you were giving away the rival jersey. If DJ Moore didn't fumble on the last play. So that was 2 of y'all I beat with the fumble? Didn't fumble on the last play. Score ends up being 97-08 to 97-32. DJ fumbled on the last. Oh, on the lateral. Oh, shit. Sorry, my boy. Hate it had to be you. That's crazy, bro. Yo, hate it had to be you, Jarrell. Hate it had to be you. I saw it. I lost one by like 0.4 or 5 points. I won one by 0.4 or 5 points. So I didn't feel bad. I was like, bro, this is a shitty week for me as far as like record-wise. What do you think of Rome? It seemed like Zacchaeus was getting more looks. We watching the same game? Watching the same game? I was very impressed with Rome. Caught the touchdown. I have no issues at all with Rome. I don't know if Zacchaeus was getting more looks. I didn't think that. I thought it was pretty balanced out of Caleb. Like, got DeAndre Swift the ball, got DJ Moore the ball, got Zacchaeus the ball, got Rome the ball. Only people that really didn't get a whole lot of volume were like Luther Burden, Colston Loveland. Even Cole Kmet got a opportunity downfield. So I think Rome. Y'all know I've been on Rome. I have no concerns about Rome. All right, a few more here. And then what I'm going to do is I kept talking about TikTok. I'm going to try to get through this list right here. Try to get through this list that I see. And then I'm going to go live. If you guys got TikTok too, I'm going to try to go live on TikTok for a little while. I got to get these episodes done. So if y'all want the content, I got to get through that too. So I'm going to keep going through the questions live. Appreciate y'all for tapping in too. And if you haven't gone to the J-Hand Fantasy website, head over to J-Hand Fantasy, the website, man, and get in. There's a lot of content on there. I'll have my game-by-game preview, my note sheet, probably up tomorrow morning, starting with a couple games tomorrow morning. I'm trying to film as many episodes as I can after the lives. Be a little gassed out, but we're going to do it. I'm going to try to film as many as I can and then I'll upload those so they can start going out tomorrow morning. So you guys will have them. So you should have most of them done by Thursday. I'm gonna try to have all of them scheduled. It's just I think it tanks my page. So y'all gotta make sure you're in there liking and commenting because I think it kind of tanks my page. I've noticed that. So we'll see. But I don't know, man. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it, man. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Take the page to help y'all out or just stay viral. Maybe I'll stay viral. Now, what are your thoughts on Samson? 8 receptions. Does it continue? I think they were behind in this game, and like obviously the passing volume was there. Fannin, Cedric Tillman, Samson, plenty of volume there. So I think Samson may not see 8 receptions a game, 8 targets a game, but I do think that Samson will have a role in the passing game. We also get Quinshon Judkins back this week. So once we get him back too, it's going to be a whole different scenario for this Cleveland Browns team. So I don't know. I'm not really like, if you got him, to me, he's a flex at best, more so a bye week flex. I think he'll be kind of frustrating because he's not going to be a red zone guy. He's going to be like, did he get 6 to 8 catches this week? That'll be determined if you start him. Because if he gets 3 or 4, you're probably like, damn, why did I start this guy? So I think he'll be, we finish the season, he's probably going to be a back-end RB2, high-end RB3, just with the pure passing volume. He's somewhere around 60, 70 catches. That wouldn't shock me, but I don't know that we get it on a weekly basis, nor do I think he gets the touchdowns to support it, like starting him every week. Yo, Jorge, appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you, man. Said, my bad, I didn't explain it right. I'm in a 12-man, half-point PPR league where I start 2 receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex quarterback. You probably did explain it right. I probably fucked it up. I got CD, Brian Thomas, Wilson, Devontae, A.K. Hall, R.J. Harvey. So Drake May, I'm assuming, Dak and Penix. Ingram, Blue, Benson, Burton, Spears. Who do I pick up at tight end, and what upgrades can I make? So where I would look on this team, you have Spears on your IR. Like Trey Benson, I feel like is a piece I wouldn't really want to move just in case something happens. Connor still looked to be the lead by far to me. Jaden Blue is a piece. You probably can get rid of him. And then Luther Burden, same thing. So I think here the one thing I see apparently is that you need to upgrade your tight end. Ingram, I don't know if Ingram's going to be it. I liked Evan Ingram a lot coming into the year. I thought it was a good situation, but he's banged up. And I don't know that I didn't have the part that we were drafting this offseason. And somebody said, I forgot who it was. Somebody asked me and said, yo, well, you like Evan Ingram. Why haven't you been drafting him higher? Like I kept taking Kelsey over him. I kept taking Hawkinson over him. They're like, you said you like Evan Ingram. Why aren't you drafting him? And I think some of that is tied into like Bo Nix. I don't think I was fully bought into this Denver offense being what it was last year. So if you believe in Bo Nix bouncing back, which I kind of think Bo Nix is going to be inconsistent for us. It wouldn't shock me to see him have a good week next week, but I think he'll be inconsistent moving forward. I think Evan Ingram is going to be part of that. You have Cortland Sutton, you got Marvin Mims. You know, they go through the run game with Dobbins, who played well, and you got Harvey, who played well. So it's like you go through the running backs. Like I just don't know that I trust Evan Ingram on a weekly basis, seeing what I saw. So I think he'll be okay some weeks. I just would rather have a different tight end. So if you can pair up Ingram with, May, Dak, or Penix to go get a better tight end, maybe you can go get a Hawkinson, buy low on him. You could, Kittle's obviously out. You may be able to buy on Kittle. So unless you're telling me you don't start a tight end, because you said 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. If you don't have to start a tight end, then don't worry about it. But if you need a tight end, I would say that. If you're going to pick one up, I'd pick up Juwan Johnson, if you could, over Fanning. Juwan Johnson over Fanning. Juwan Johnson over Fanning. 3 injuries this week. London, Worthy, Kittle. Damn. Sorry to hear, bro. No other tight ends. Bench Waddle, Kupp and Pittman. Trading piece, Penix, ETN. Bench. What moves do I make? Bench Waddle. Well, you're going to have London. You're going to have Pittman that you need to start. Worthy's going to go. Say he's on IR. Let's just call it. Kittle's on IR already. You have ETN and Penix as your trade pieces with Waddle or Kupp. I think for you, if you can get the most out of ETN and try to find a receiver, try to find like maybe A.J. Brown, like one of the receivers that disappointed Find somebody who went 0-1, was like a bottom 3 team in scoring, somebody that hates their fantasy team right now. Maybe started Isaiah Pacheco or some shit. Trade them, ETN, and then go get a receiver. That's how I play it. And if you have a tight end, make sure you're just heavy on waivers for Juwan Johnson, Kyle Pitts, Harold Fannin, somebody like that. Oh, you do start a tight end? You said you do start a tight end? So yeah, I'll go get Juwan Johnson if you could. I wouldn't spend too much. Johnson, Fannin, try to get one of them. There's also I think some other tight ends just did not play well, but if you can get Kyle Pitts, I think those are the easy names to say because they played well, but Dallas Goedert's out there in some leagues. I think even some of the tight ends we haven't seen play well yet, there's going to be better days from a Cade Otton, better days ahead from I don't know. I think Jonnu, who had a touchdown, will be better. I think he should be there too. So I don't know, man. I think you can find a tight end. I wouldn't overly spend on Juwan Johnson, but that's the one I would want first out of any of them. Again, Jorge, appreciate you, man. If you got any other, hit me up if you got other questions, bro. Hit me in the Discord if I didn't answer your question. Hopefully I did. I tried to answer that as best as I could. But if I didn't, hit me in the Discord, bro. Just message me. Jorge, message me on Twitter or in the Discord. I get Tay for Jordan Mason and Waddle. I feel like it's an overpay for Devontae, and you can get it done. Go ahead. I'm cool with that too. I'm good with this deal. I think Waddle, the only thing about Waddle that Devontae doesn't have working for him and Jordan Mason, is if for some reason Aaron Jones, who always gets banged up, if he gets banged up, Jordan Mason's going to be a strong RB2. If Tyreek Hill gets traded, depending on what they bring back, Jalen Waddle has high-end wide receiver 2 appeal, really high-end. So just be careful with this deal. I like Devontae as much as the next, and it could work out for you. And I think it's a decent consolidation. But when I say aim higher, that's why I say aim a little bit higher. Because Waddle and Devontae really ain't that far. They're both high-end wide receiver 2s. I think I was wrong on Devontae. I thought Devontae would be closer to top 12. I might be wrong on Devontae. He just might be a little bit further down than I thought. I'm probably going to be wrong on Devontae. Put it that way. Kincaid had a 15-point. Yeah, he did have a good game. He had a good game. I was just thinking he only got 4 targets versus the other tight ends. Seems touchdown dependent. Maybe. It's actually not a bad way of thinking about it, but I think he had a good game. I think he's startable, definitely not droppable. Keep Golden, would you rather have K9, Pacheco, Pollard rest of the season? I still rather have K9. I just have his floor to me is just risky. I think he bounces back though. If I had to guess, I think K9 plays better next week. It's just Charbonnet fits his offense really well. Pacheco, Pollard kind of the same to me. I'd rather have K9 out of these 3. I talked about K9 a little earlier. I think the upside's still there. I'm just a little concerned, but I think the upside's still there. Thoughts on Judkins? Let's see it on the field. I think he's worth a pickup. He doesn't have receiving chops. They got Dylan Sampson for that. Jerome Ford's still there. So I think Judkins, and the Browns are probably going to be down most games. So I think Judkins probably going to be a touchdown or bust RB3 most weeks. Warren and Monty. I don't know which 3. Yes, all the 3 of those backs over Warren. Nah, not over Monty. I think Monty will be better at some point, but all 3 of those backs over Warren and Monty, yes. Pacheco, Pollard, K9, yes. Warren's close. Monty's close. They're both close. Feel confident, H.N. and Breeze, ETN, pair mixing with the wide receiver. All right, hey, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at you trying to get Devontae. Just know, maybe he's more, but it looks like it might be like Cooper Kupp-esh, where I keep expecting more, and it's not a 2-receiver offense. It's a Puka Nacua offense. Could just be wrong about it. Thoughts on Lions? Sorry about my kids in the background. Thoughts on Lions offense? I think it'll be better. Tough. So what I genuinely think, it was less about the Lions offense. I think Green Bay defense might be more of a problem than we think. Like with Micah, with their secondary, I think that defense is going to be way better than we think. Yes, Rome all day. I feel like Rome is good. Might be able to get Tyreek too. If you can get Tyreek, I'd actually feel better about Tyreek than Devontae, if you could. Kincaid or Juwan, I'd rather have Kincaid than Juwan, especially long term. Guys, I'm going to go over to TikTok. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure to go NJM Fantasy. I'll be back on YouTube live probably at some point, probably Thursday. And I'll have all the game-by-game stuff starting to go out tonight and tomorrow. Probably tomorrow where most of it starts. So be prepared for it. If you guys have questions on anything, try to ask me in the comments. I'll get to what I can. But yeah, your boy, I'm trying to figure out the flow of this thing. New kind of build for me. You might see Prabat's face on here a little bit more as well in lieu of me. Not completely, but just like in addition to me, I should say, not in lieu of me. But might like some solo shows, trying to figure some things out. So I appreciate y'all for real. Like I said, if you guys want the note sheet, it'll be on the JN Fantasy website. Other than that, game by game breakdowns be out starting tomorrow. I'll be live on TikTok here in just a moment. I will see you guys later. Peace out.